The weirdest thing I've ever found in a shoe was the completely cooked hot dog. There was no bun, but there was ketchup and mustard on it. And it was just inside somebody's boot. We thought maybe they got really happy one night and we were eating a hot dog and it just kind of slipped out. Shoe repair, we used to have one on every corner. You know, especially when you weren't driving a whole lot and you lived in town, your block had a cobbler, always. As it used to be 100% leather, they'll start to put what we call particle leather, where it's, you know, just like particle board. They'll take a bunch of leather powder and they'll push it together, and they've started making the welts out of that. You know, welt is what actually holds the shoe together and what you attach the sole to. But since people aren't repairing their shoes as like we used to, they skimp on these things, and it doesn't help the shoe last any longer. These are like $450 pair of shoes. He's going to get these repaired for years and years to come. If you've got a nice pair of leather-soled shoes or a nice leather handbag, if something minor goes wrong with it, you know, some stitching comes out, a rip occurs, that's all repairable. When you first get your shoes, especially if they're lighter colored, you want to make sure you waterproof them very well, keep them conditioned once a season. If you can get a pair of shoes that's resolable or rehealable, you definitely want that, and it doubles the life of your shoes. Suede, again, you're just going to want to waterproof it heavily because you can't really condition suede. The worst thing for shoes usually is during the winter time, whenever they've put the salt on the roads and you start hiking off in there's always a little bit of salt left in there, and that is really bad for shoes. Because if you leave the salt marks on there too long, it actually starts to eat the leather, the salt does. When it comes to suede dye, if you've got a bright yellow or bright red, more than likely it's going to bleed out when you wash it. So you've got to be very careful. When it comes to like a smooth leather shoe, like aged calf skin, it doesn't really matter except for when you're polishing it. You want to make sure you get the right color polish. As a whole, I don't think a lot of people have any clue about how to take care of their shoes. But if we all took care of our shoes, we'd all save a lot more cows and cash.